time, 93 since Charles Barkley and him.
Well, now I ain't happy for the Suns. I'm happy for Chris Paul.
Yeah.
I'm happy for him because his career, he's one of those players that, I mean, obviously I've been knowing him since he got into the league, and he's one of those players that such a Hall of Fame career and everything that basketball is about in being a father and a human and all those sort of things is Chris Paul. And you don't ever want to see a guy who's done so much for the game of basketball not be able to get that chip. So all of those, if in fact, and when in fact he wins the NBA title this year,
Right.
all of that built up anxiety, frustration, all of those things in Chris Paul, you're going to see come out. They're going to have to put a bucket in front of him and let all the tears, because he's going to squeeze them out.
Absolutely.
You know, he's going to squeeze.
Absolutely.
You know that squeeze when you hold the trophy, you just
That
squeeze it.
Like Jordan when he was holding it the first time and was crying in the locker room.
That just all of that is going to come out of Chris Paul, because I honestly think no matter which team they face, whether it's Atlanta, I already got them beating the Clippers, so whether it's Atlanta or Milwaukee, I honestly think that Phoenix is going to come out of here. It's going to be a tough one, but they're going to come out with a victory.
Well, listen, first of all, I am still amazed that he didn't finish second in the MVP voting, considering what he did for Phoenix this year. And as clutch as he has been for Phoenix, he should have been second when it came to MVP voting. And you're right. I mean, you look at this last game, you know, it was Chris Paul. I mean, Book had fouled out. Ayton was great, but again, it was Chris Paul who ran the offense and got big-time buckets for Phoenix. And again, they're just one game away. And I know he says, look, I don't want to talk about, 3-1 leads.
Well, last time he was 3-1, his hamstring popped. Whatever happened to him against Golden State, and then from there on, he hasn't been back since. So I get it.
Right.
I get it totally.
I absolutely. But, tonight, again, Phoenix Suns could put an end to the Clippers. And that, man, you want to talk about the Clippers.
Join us on over here, Clippers.
Let's go to the phone lines. And again, everybody who joins us on the phone line, we want to hear your take about who would you build around. When you look around the 4 teams left in the playoffs, who's that team who's that player that you would build your team around? Let's go out to New Jersey. Nathan in Jersey, what you got?
Hey, what's up, Brian? Hey, Keisha, how you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Hey, so in a heartbeat, I would build around Devin Booker, because this guy's a flat-out star. He's showing it in this year's playoffs, and he showed it without playing with Chris Paul for the first 2 games. And Devin Booker, man, he needs to get more attention here in the league, and like I said, he's a flat-out scorer, flat-out star, and I would definitely build around Devin Booker, in my opinion.
Yeah,
that's your guy.
When you think about it, it only makes sense. Trae Young is there.
Yep.
But it only makes sense for Devin Booker, because clearly you could tell that DeAndre Ayton has gotten better because of Chris Paul, but also Booker's gotten better because of Chris Paul. Leadership, things of that nature. But you have to be willing to take on the advice that you're getting from veteran players that clearly know how to play basketball at the NBA level. And I think you could take that, if you Devin Booker, everything that you've learned so far from Chris Paul, and you could extend that beyond just this season. And I think he will. I think he started to come again last year in the bubble, as you saw. He started to become a better basketball player. Now, the rest is history for him. Yeah, he fouled out. He fouled out. Yeah, they lost game 3. They lost game 3 when Chris Paul came back, but you could clearly see that Chris Paul was missing something because of the layoff. When you were laid off, 11 days or whatever it was. So I contribute that part of their loss to him being away, and Devin Booker didn't have enough gas left in the tank to take the mantle at that point in time. He tried,
right,
but it just didn't. They were playing a slow play game, and it didn't work out for him at that point in time. But I just, it's something about him, and he doesn't have the Kardashian curse right now. It hasn't affected him.
It hasn't at all.
And we're all sitting back waiting for that to happen.
Maybe it's because she's a Jenner. Maybe it's the Jenner part of it that doesn't work. KJZ is brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union, proud to serve members of the Armed Forces, DOD, veterans, and their families. Our members are the mission. Learn more at NavyFederal.org. So the Clips now are down 3-1. They need a win, obviously, to remain in the playoff. Now, Ty Lue has said, we can do it. It is doable. I've done it before. Take a listen to what Ty Lue said yesterday on coming back, being down 3-1.
Just got to take it one game at a time. Just focus on Monday's game. That's it. Not focus on winning 3 games. Got to take it one game at a time. And that's got to be our mindset. If we beat Utah, we're number one in the West 4 games in a row. So it's very doable. We just got to make sure we're locked in, understand what we're trying to do offensively. I think we got to be a lot better offensively to beat this team.
So that's Ty Lue. And, he's speaking from, hey, look, I was head coach at Cleveland. We came back 3-1 down to Golden State, and look what we did. We won the championship.
Well, the 2 teams that come to mind for me, both of them had injuries that happened. Houston, injuries happened. Golden State, injuries happened. So I get it, unless you are, it's part of basketball, injuries are part of sports, unless you have some trick up your sleeve and those guys all of a sudden start falling like flies. If they're healthy, you ain't coming back 3-1, man. Ain't going to happen. The Kawhi ain't all of a sudden coming out of the building. They just don't have enough to sustain running off. They got to win 3 straight?
Yeah,
that's not going to happen. I had to think about the math in my head. They're not winning 3 straight.
You don't see it?
No, hell no, Brian.
You don't see it?
3 straight?
Is
so
that,
you all of a sudden.
Wait a minute, is that your Clipper hate, man?
No, it's not my Clipper hate. It's reality. All of a sudden, this Clipper team is just going to turn into what? The Chicago Bulls? The Golden State Warriors? And then Phoenix is going to turn into what? A bad team that forgot how to play basketball? 3 games now.
Yeah.
3 games.
They ratchet up. Now, listen.
Get ready to get.
They ratcheted up the defense. Now, listen, that last game was a rock fight. That was a rock fight.
You're talking about 3 games. They're not going to all of a sudden just lose 3 straight games to it. If Kawhi was on the team and playing right now rather than sitting in the box watching, I'd be like, oh, yeah, they could, If they told me Kawhi was coming back and he was healthy and he's going to play, then I would be like, oh, okay, they got a shot. But without Kawhi, you're not winning 3 games straight. I don't give a damn what nobody say. Only 2 teams that I can think of, his Cleveland squad,
right?
They fell apart. Yep. Golden State fell apart. You had the Steph ankle. You had the Draymond kick out.
Yep.
I get it. They had to still play. LeBron still carried it. But then you had the hamstring injury to Houston, and that completely changed their whole thought process, the way they wanted to score on offense. If you think they could come back, then go put some money on it. I don't.
Nah.
And now the Clipper hate starts.
Yeah.
Good for them. The Clippers wasn't going to win anyway. I kept telling everybody here all the time, they like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Alan Hahn, I don't understand. I said, man, the Clippers aren't going anywhere. It's just for whatever reason, I like Ty Lue and everything, but when you start begging for Laker fans to support you and your team because it's one city and all that, you're asking for help because you don't even believe that you can win.
I will say this. One of the discussions we got to get into, is this a disappointment for the Clips? If they don't, they get booted out of here. How big of a disappointment is that? What you got? Straight talk?
Well, I do, but you don't have a tease?
Yeah, we do. I was going to let you do that.
Oh, after you tease it,
I'll do that.
Then we do straight talk.
In the next block, we got to talk about, there was one NFL GM key who says building a Super Bowl contender around a young QB